So before we start reading, I want to remind you, there's 3 things we need to look for today. First is our topic, then our main idea, and also any transition words. So we're going to break them down first. Topic. Does anyone remember, how can we find the topic? How about Sharon?
It's frequently used throughout the passage.
Yeah, it's a word that's said very frequently and repeated many, many times. And Vivian, the topic is usually a full sentence or just a couple words?
No, just a couple words.
Yeah, just a couple words. Okay. We also need to find the main idea. Vivian, what's another name for main idea?
Thesis statement.
Yeah, the thesis statement. So we're going to be looking for that when we're reading. I'll give you a hint. 90% of the time, but not always, the thesis statement is the last sentence in the first paragraph, okay? So it might be there this time, or it might be somewhere else in the first paragraph. We also need to look for transitions. Okay, transitions are our connector words. Sharon, do you know any connector words?
Also.
Also, what are some more, Vivian?
However.
However, but, maybe so, as a result. Those are all our connector or transition words. I want you to go ahead and circle any transition words that you see. I also want you to try and find the topic and the main idea when you're reading. Okay, so here we go. Let's start.
Most modern buildings are built using only a few materials. Such concerns have led to a renewed interest in traditional building techniques, which often utilized natural and sustainable materials.
Okay, very good. That's a long paragraph. So let's break it down. The first thing we need to look for is the topic. So a topic is a word that's repeated many, many times. Vivian, was there any word you saw repeated many, many times?
Buildings?
Yeah, buildings is up here in the middle. Buildings is also down here near the end. So our topic is going to be something about buildings. Okay, so we're talking about old and new buildings. Okay, and he said a few bad things about new buildings. Let's first talk about new building materials. So your house or your apartment is made out of concrete. Was there anything bad he said about concrete?
It produces a large amount of greenhouse gases.
Yeah, so that's dirty gases that make the sky really bad and not healthy. So those new materials are really bad. So do you think the author is going to talk more about traditional building techniques or modern building techniques? Vivian?
Traditional building
Techniques, yeah, because the new building materials and techniques are bad for the environment. So let's go ahead and let's try and find the topic in the first paragraph. Does anyone think they can find traditional building materials or traditional building techniques?
In the last sentence.
The last sentence, yeah, oh, here it is. Traditional building techniques. That's going to be our topic. We're going to learn about how we can use traditional building materials to make houses now. Okay, we also need to find the main idea. I gave you a hint before, Vivian. Usually, where can we find the main idea?
The last sentence.
The last sentence of the introductory or the first paragraph. Okay, well, let's try that. Maybe that could be our main idea today. How about Sharon? Could you read the last sentence?
Such concerns have led to a renewed interest in traditional building techniques, which often utilize natural and sustainable materials.
Okay, so this has the topic inside of it, and they're talking about natural and sustainable materials. Do you remember in the pictures we talked about, there were 2 materials we talked about. What were they?
Clay and bamboo.
Yeah, are those natural materials?
Yes.
They are. So do you think we're going to be talking more about this sentence, natural and traditional building materials? Yeah, so do you think that's the main idea? I think it's a good main idea. Let's go ahead and you underline that. We're going to label that main idea. Okay, so go ahead and underline it. I'm going to label it main idea. And let's also label the topic with topic. T-O-P-I-C. If you want to, we can also use the other name for main idea. Vivian, what's another name for main idea?
Statement.
Thesis statement. Guys, let's just write T.S for thesis statement and remember that. Okay, there was one more thing that we needed to find in this paragraph. Transitions or connector words. Let's start with Vivian. Did you circle any transition words?
However.
Yes, your favorite word, however. Make sure you circle that, everybody. So what's another word for however? Starts with letter B.
But.
But, yeah, so but, where the beginning and the ending are talking about two different ideas. Any other transition words, Sharon?
As a result.
As a result, very good. Both of these have a comma after them, that's a hint. Okay, what's another word for as a result?
So.
So, very good. So, however means but, as a result is like so.